Hello, fellows. So today we're doing something a little bit different. This is Vintage Story. I knew about this game way back in 2016, 2017, but I didn't really play it, and I didn't really look too much into it because it originally was just kind of a Minecraft clone, but I watched somebody play it in 2020, wasn't too interesting, and then recently the update that we all came to know and love, the 1.20 update, came out in February of 2025. Now, this is just a little bit of interesting lore about me. I've gained quite a substantial amount of following through streaming Vintage Story, and everybody seems to really like it. So, we're going to be starting up a new world today, and we're going to see how well this goes. Strap in and get ready for a perfect ride. Oh boy, we're making this our video world, and now we're going to customize it. Now, I remember somebody a little while ago, asked how I get my, world to be, really good. How do you get your stuff to look so good? How do you get these great mountain ranges? Rivers is a great terrain generation mod, and you can technically crank it up to 448 blocks, but I'm going to keep it at 384, which is the highest. And obviously, you can see here, we're going to change this to 12 days a month, temporal stability, world generation. Here we go, world width, and if I want to, you can go up to 8 million blocks. We're just going to stick with 1 million. There we go, fellas. Stop. Let's see what class we want. All right, we're doing Hunter. And here is the world, everybody. Very exciting. Very exciting. Oh, wait a minute, I just realized I did my map wrong. Okay, well, what I've actually done is I've changed the color of the map, so once we restart the world, everything should load up perfectly fine. But a lot of you have been kind of requesting a Vintage Story kind of, some actual videos on Vintage Story. Now, I've been playing Vintage Story for a little while. Ooh, check out that cool cave. But I haven't really done a video on it, because doing videos on Vintage Story is something completely different, because they take so much extra time that you guys see. And whenever I do play Vintage Story, I typically like to stream it to everybody, because when I'm not, I'm talking to myself like a man out in the woods. I'm saying, I swear. The voices, the numbers. What do they mean? But in all seriousness, Vintage Story is a fantastic game. I wanted to come back in here to see what I could find, mainly because there were no rocks or anything of the sort in around the other area that we were up there with, but that's okay. Because another thing that you guys don't see as well when I'm making these Vintage Story videos is how much stuff I cut out. I like to cut out some parts here and there just to make it more interesting, especially with the War Thunder videos, right? Because, I mean, you all don't see it, but my 10-minute video that I had there was actually an hour long. I recorded for an hour. Actually, no, probably about an hour and 40 minutes, 40 minutes of which was just me kind of sitting there AFK. But the M18 video took, again, about an hour. And some of the other shorts on TikTok and the Purple app, I posted one short on the Purple app, but that's about it, But all these other videos that you see me make on TikTok are an hour of footage, because for War Thunder, what people like to see is the target destroyed pop-up thing, right? That's the dopamine, so people like to see that. Well, you need to get enough, and sometimes I can get a couple matches where I get 18 kills a game, and that's not a big deal. So, I mean, it's really not that hard to do that once you're able to hit that level, but it's just a nightmare if you're not hitting that for certain vehicles, because that means you have to spend a longer time making said video. But I digress. Oh, no way. Big. Some pretty damn good RNG luck right there. Oh, good stuff there, bud. Good stuff there. Alright. Let's get moving south. Now, I normally advise people, hey, let, most of your onions and everything else, fully grow and whatnot. But this is early game Vintage Story. And this isn't, I need to remember, but this isn't my world where I literally have everything. So it's actually kind of important that I, sit down and, actually get stuff done, and I actually sit down and actually collect said resources and whatnot. But I would love to live near the equator. Biggest thing is that we cannot die, because I'm not walking all the way back up here. We're just gonna grab a little bit of clay right now. If you think you've got enough clay, just remember you never actually do. This is a decent amount. It won't be enough to do probably everything I want, but it'll do enough. But here's the super fun part of editing that I get to do that you guys don't. And this, you can show this to your friends to kind of let them get an idea of how you start with vintage stories. So it goes, sticks, rocks, make tools. Immediately try to find clay if possible, and peat because you're able to use peat instead of chopping down an extra tree and getting firewood for your pit kilns. What you do with that clay now that you've hopefully collected is you mold it into a pot, crucible, whatever you really want. Boom, immediately fire it as soon as you possibly can. After that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to run around the world and collect as much surface copper as humanly possible. If you don't do this, it's going to take a little bit of an extra long time. But back to what I was saying. So obviously after you pick up said flint and everything else, copper is what I actually meant to say. What you're going to want to do, oh, that was a meteorite. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take copper, put it inside of a crucible, hopefully get some charcoal, which hopefully you've made a charcoal pit by now. But the largest the charcoal pits can be is 11 by 11 by 11, which we've managed to complete once on our multiplayer server, which is absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend you all join it. Super, super, super fun community. Just abide by the rules, obviously. Now, the 11 by 11 by 11 on the server kind of messed up a little bit. We're not going to talk about it. Definitely didn't just go wrong in every way conceivable, but it is what it is. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably sitting there going, why aren't you picking up the cattails? You only have a basket for storage, right? This is a terrible idea. Why aren't you picking it up? Well, first of all, Timmy, is I have a grace period of 10 days of no monsters, which means I can, technically speaking, run throughout the night. So I set myself up a little bit of a grace period, nothing too crazy, but I should be able to run at least a couple thousand blocks south towards the equator. Some of you guys may not understand, but I despise forests. That right there is one reason why. That's why I freaking hate forests. God. And there's another right there. Would you take a look at that? Hi, puppy. Leave me alone. So here is a fun fact. Onion good, turnip bad. No, that's actually really not the case. I just hate turnips because turnips suck everything out of the soil, and it actually drives me up a fucking wall with how annoying they do it. Because like it just takes forever for the soil to regrow. It takes a full year for the soil to regrow. Oh boy, okay. Fun.
7 hours later.
All right. I've got good news, everybody. We've made it south. It's been about an extra, like, couple hours. Just took me forever to do, but we are south now. We've done it. And surprisingly, I didn't really find that many surface copper deposits, which is a little bit surprising, because normally they're everywhere. But I didn't find any, which is perfectly fine. I'm sure we'll be able to find some in the desert. Ooh, little gazelle right here. Very nice. But I also did restart my world as well because I wanted the colored map. And now that we're in the savannah, we might as well get it. Oh, that's not good. But now all we're just doing is we're just looking for a spot to live. We should head south down this way. So I'll check out this structure. We'll see what we're able to get. No way. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just skipped a lot of progress. Now, typically what I like to do, because it's just fun this way, and I personally enjoy it quite a bit, is I like to find ruins, right? Like any kind of ruin, right? But it has to be relatively large. Ooh, hey, more copper bits. I'll take this. But it has to be a relatively large ruin, and what I like to do is I like to live in it, and I like to repair it back to its former glory, which is what I've done on my other world. Pretty baller, if you ask me. I absolutely love doing it. It's super fun, and it gives you a goal to do. Is, you know, it's kind of like, hey, like, repair this structure to its former glory. And it's really, really, really enjoyable, and I actually like doing it a lot. But it looks like we're not getting very lucky when it comes to finding structures. However, we have just found a little itty-bitty teensy tiny one. And we'll see what we can do with this guy. How do we gotta enter you, though? This guy normally spawns underground, so I think we actually got pretty lucky with this guy. Oh my god. Oh, hold it. Hold the phone. 2 scrap spears, a free scrap axe. Oh my god. And then an ore vessel. Give me coal. What is that? Is that bismuth? Chromite. Bonk. There we go. Look at all that extra room that we've got. We got an extra 2 slots. Ta-da. Now, you know what I am going to grab? Actually going to... How much durability does this thing have? 100 durability. Alright, I'm going to grab 2 for right now, and I will be grabbing that scrap axe, because check out what the scrap axe has got on it. Look at that. 125 durability. It's already better than our previous axe that we were using. I probably should be taking one of the beds, but who cares, right? No, nobody cares. But let's just keep moving. We are going to eventually find our forever home. Obviously. Duh. We're not just going to be running forever, right? Me run forever? I never do that. I always find a quiet place to settle down, and I never, ever, ever run for like 100,000 miles. Never would I ever do that. Oh, that's pretty nice. We could turn this into like a terraced area back in here. You can see it, some like nice rice paddies in here. Ooh. That would be nothing but baller. Here we go. This should be a meteorite. Or not. Apparently I suck. Yeah, I like this area. Although this area doesn't seem to have very common... Yeah, it's uncommon rainfall. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. Hold on. Have we just found home, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, we have just found home. Unfortunately, no ruins up there for us to really take over, which does kind of suck. But you know what? That really doesn't matter when you have such a flat area up there, right? What's this, papyrus? Ah, it's papyrus. We use that for paper. But this area is so flat. Ooh, that's got me excited to build up there. See, ladies and gentlemen, never give up hope for your ideal base location. Never do it. Never settle for mediocre. You can always find something better. And this is the best. The only downside to this is obviously I'm going to have to make a staircase up, right? Which is just going to take a little bit of time. But not bad. Not bad. I'm actually really happy with this. We got plenty of clay down here. And oh my gosh, look at the little ruined village down here as well. What is this pot? Farming pot? I'm not going to break that yet. Yeah, little jungle ruins right here. These are base ruin, or base game ruins. But still. Oh, and wait a minute. Pair and pair. Now, let's go make our way up a mountain. Ooh, there we go. Perfect. We're almost up here. Here's a little outcropping slash ledge. Look at that. You got some fine mushrooms growing as well. But just wait. This is going to be so much better. God, I'm so excited to be all the way up here. Lots of puffballs as well, so plenty of mushrooms I can harvest and eat. Wish there was a way to grow them in game. There's not really. They just kind of respawn in the same area, so you're going to have to sweep that area multiple times over certain time periods. But, oh my god, it is flat up here. Oh my god, this is just gorgeous. Holy Moses. This is spectacular. This is nothing short of spectacular. This is awesome. There are a bunch of goats up here, too.
You hear me? Hit the rollies.
This is just crazy. Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. If that's what I think it is, I mean, we could repair the whole thing and live in it. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Wouldn't be an abhorrent idea. But I want to get rid of all this grass here. I want to get rid of it all. Which means we're going to need to start a brush fire. Which kind of has me a little bit worried. But, you know, it wouldn't be the end of the world if I did start it. Oh, look at those sheep over there. Oh, that's cool. Is that a fucking polar bear? No, that's just another sheep. We're chilling. Oh, thank God. Oof. But you know what, everybody? Look at this. Hold on. We gotta go check out this side. This is just spectacular. Oh my God. Oh my God. The Grand Mountain. You know, some people are like, dude, I just can't find flat land. How do you find such flat land in your world? Oh, I feel so bad for the people that can't find flat land. This is crazy. Crazy, I tell you, crazy. That might not be clay. We need to go check out if that's peat. If that's peat, we need to watch that. We need to at least cover that area up. But here, hold on. Is it peat? Moment of truth. Oh, fuck, it's all peat. Okay. So we have a giant peat deposit right here. And then 2 more giant peat deposits right here. Okay, everybody. I got terrible news. We gotta set up base before we do anything. I don't want to start the fire just yet because that fire is going to decimate all the peat in the area, and I would like to collect almost all of it, if possible, you know. If possible. God, look at all the frickin' puffballs. Oh my God. Oh my God, and look at all the rocks up here. Look at all the copper. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot else peat-wise over here. Doesn't appear to be so. However, there is quite the ravine right here that I do not approve of. Okay, well, still, same old, same old. All I really care about is getting rid of all the bushes, because these bushes are very annoying. And more so, I want everything gone over there. The giant castle would have been so good to have up here. Would have been awesome. The one with the moat. I believe somebody on the multiplayer server that's public found it as well. Yeah, giant peat right here. Ugh, that's going to be so annoying to get rid of. What are you, though? I don't know what that was, but it was a creature. It certainly was a creature. There's just so many animals up here, too. Oh, God. Just thinking about all the trees I'm going to have to bring up here. Well, plenty of room for an orchard, right? So, not an issue there. Not an issue there. Okay, I've got a really fun idea for the time being, and you guys will get to see all of this. It's going to be so much fun. This is like nowhere near enough of what we need, but still. There we go. Perfect. God, I desperately need to collect copper and find zinc. Desperately. I'm able to make 3 copper tools, which is very nice, so I cannot complain about that. But there we go. We've got 30 more medium fertility soil. That isn't anywhere near what I would want, but, you know, it's okay. It works. If it works, it works, you know. So boom, and here's all the rammed earth that we have. Need more. But unfortunately, we're a little bit hungry, which means we're going to have to go out and go actually grab some mushrooms. Which there should be plenty nearby, if I remember correctly. Quite a plenty of shrooms. I swear to God, I just saw a bunch over here somewhere. Or maybe it was back over on the other side. Who knows? There's some shrooms over here somewhere. I just know it. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, no, I mean, the area is a little bit temporally unstable over there, but over here it is temporally stable. Or is just the whole thing temporally unstable? I think the whole thing might be temporally unstable. I love settling in temporally unstable land, guys. I love it. Definitely doesn't drive me crazy, but anyways. God, Bad joke, I know. Bad joke. Bad joke, but still. And then here's another really cool thing about this whole area too, is there's actually some guy underneath here. So we'll deal with that, but first, because it is indeed nighttime, we're gonna go run over to the trader, we're gonna go sleep at the trader. And then once we're done, we'll run back over, and I think that's where we're gonna end this episode. Lots of game up here though, which really has me hyped. The only downside is that we're gonna need so many shovels for all that peat. Oh man, that's gonna be a nightmare. Because I don't want any of the peat to burn up, I don't want to lose any of the peat, because it's such a valuable resource. Oh, Mr. Trader. Agricultural supplies. No way. You buy wolf pups and a bunch of other different stuff. That's baller, and you sell a bunch of cool stuff, too. Very nice. Hold on, guys. Let's go watch the sunrise. Oh... That's not what I wanted to do. All right. Let's head back over to our area, and then I'm going to put a pause on this episode. After, of course, we uncover a little bit more of the mystery of the structure that's over there. It's actually not too much of a mystery. I do know that there's a crate in there. I just hope that there's nothing in the vase. Like, nothing at all. That would be really, really, really nice. That would actually be super nice. Because it means that I would be able to dump all my inventory and everything else. There's a young pear tree stem right there. I didn't place that one. So there's just a pear tree all the way up here? No way. That's seriously lucky. Anywho... Yep. Oh, look at that. Jim's studded bracelet and a piece of straw to put in our mouth. Look at that. But now here's what we do. We just put everything away in here. And look at all that. And our inventory is now cleared, and we have a little itty-bitty teensy tiny room that technically we can live in. Hooray. Perfect. There's little home. And then obviously we're going to have to cover up this whole thing with a bunch of extra dirt and whatnot and all that other humbug and humbuzz and whatever. But other than that, this is going to be home for the rest of the series. But I'll see if I decide to crop the video right here, or if I will continue to record. But until then, thank you all so much for stopping by, everybody, and I hope that everybody has a good one. Until then, ta-ta.